Hi, everybody.
Hello, I'm Ryan.
I'm Bethany.
And we are Ryan and Bethany, Board Game Reviews.
And today we're talking about Kapow, Volume 2.
Biff, bam, punch, kapow.
Kapow! This is, the lead designer is Doug Hedricks, and then there's 3 co-designers, Larry, Carl, and Rob, and this is published by Wise Wizard Games.
In this game, you basically have this classic battle between good and evil. This is the everlasting battle, right? The everlasting fight. And you have one person playing the good, one person playing the bad. There are other ways to play this game. There's a solo mode, a 2v2 mode, there's a cooperative mode, all kinds of stuff. We're going to be focusing on the main 1 versus 1 player version of this game. We'll give you a quick overview of how to play. All right, here's our setup for Kapow. All right, so we have our board that we're going to be placing all of our dice on, and this is kind of our shield so that our opponent cannot see what we're doing, but also, inside of it kind of lists all the different dice, what the faces might be on those dice, what the different actions mean, what all the different symbols means, all the turn order information, all of that is printed right on the inside of that board. For your first game, you're just going to want to play the basic game, in which case both players are going to start with 20 health, get your health die over there. We also have 1 of each colored dice, as well as 1 of those action dice, that's the one of the dice that you can customize. You're going to start with 1 wild face on it, and the rest are going to be blank to start the game off with. The goal of this game is really just to knock out your opponent's health, get them down to 0 as fast as possible. So what you're going to do on your turn is you're going to roll the dice, and you're going to look at the symbols that you've rolled, and you're going to match them up to these different actions that you can take, and see what you're going to do. The left side here is all about attacking. The middle column is all about defense. We have some power-ups that you can do. They're going to give you some additional dice, or some additional dice faces that you can place on your blank dice. We also have some power-ups that can happen after the round, and even some immediate actions that can happen right here while we're rolling. If you do choose to do an immediate action, such as re-rolling dice or maybe getting some health, you can do that right here, but you have to announce it, and you have to place those dice on those spots. Otherwise, what you can do is you can start assigning dice to these other areas. What we're going to do is we're going to attack each other and then subtract the defense, and then after that, do the power-ups. The attack section does have a base to it, meaning you have to do one of these base attacks before you can add on some additional damage or even some multipliers. So let's go ahead and choose one of those. Let's see, we've got a little fist here. We put that over here. And then it says any dice, so we can choose even a blank one like this. And that's going to do some damage. We could also choose to add on some additional dice over here. So if we were to do this one over here, that would add some additional attack. But you know what? We're also pretty sure that our opponents are going to attack us, so let's add some defense as well. The purple and the greens have a lot to do with defense. We can do that, which is also going to give us some dice face to put on our blank dice. We've got 1 dice left over. Let's put it over here. It's going to be able to give us a non-wild dice face. Now, we did not do any of those immediate actions. We do not have anything to declare to our opponent. Once both players have kind of put all the dice wherever they want to put them, what they're going to do is they're going to resolve them by lifting that up and showing each other all of their placements. Whoever the first player is going to go first. They're going to declare their attack value, and then the opposite player is going to come up with their defense number and take damage based off of what the difference is. And then the opposite is going to happen. Whoever the second player was, they're going to declare their attack value, their opponent is going to subtract their defense value, and they're going to lose that much health. Then we're going to go through the power-up section in the same order, the same turn order. They're going to add some dice or add some dice faces. You're going to do all the dice faces that you've added, you're going to put off to the side over here, and then at the very end of it all, you're going to add those dice and those dice faces to your dice pool, so you're going to have increased abilities on your next turn. And that's really all there is to the game. You're going to be attacking, you're going to be defending, you're going to be powering up in order to bring your opponent's health down to 0 as fast as possible. Once you're a little bit more familiar with the game, then you have these character boards. You have 3 villains and 3 heroes. Basically, all these add is different things that you can do. Some of these don't even require dice at all. They're just kind of stagnant abilities. But there's extra things that you can do on your turns, extra abilities that you can add on that are going to differentiate your characters and give you kind of some asynchronous abilities. There's ways to play solo, there's ways to play cooperative, there's ways to play 2-on-2. But no matter what mode of play you're using, the goal is always the same. Try to remove your opponent's health all the way down to 0.
I remember at Gen Con, I sat down to learn this game, and when she sat down to teach it to me, she's like, I'm not even going to look at it. We're just going to roll, and I'm going to tell you what to do. And I'm like, that's a weird way to teach a game. But it actually works because the game really does teach itself. The iconography is very clean. When I was reading the rulebook, I really understood what everything meant. When you have that player board that explains everything to you, it really is a game that you can play almost right after you open it, because it all makes sense and it's very intuitive, and I understood what was happening, so I just really liked that about this game.
There is a ton of different characters you can use. The first time you play through the game, I would recommend not using the characters, just so you can kind of learn the mechanisms.
Yeah.
It's still going to come to you right away. That being said, once you're more familiar, there's 3 villains and there's 3 heroes you can start using, and they give you some asynchronous abilities. Some are going to be stagnant abilities that you can use anytime. Others are going to be extra things that you can use your dice on. The more you explore them, you can have a whole lot of fun giving yourself these extra abilities. When you're using these different characters, some of them even have different starting health, different starting dice they use, different starting dice faces they use. So again, there's lots and lots of asynchrony, different ways you can play this game to give you different edges.
This game is quick. You start rolling dice and then you're dead. I mean, that's how it is when I play this game. I just die all the time. I get destroyed. Granted, I'm able to bring Ryan down with me, so he's getting, it's like 1 turn away. So that's kind of cool that even as like you just feel like you're dying and dying, the other person also is dying and dying, and you're both like losing equally, just somebody loses first. But it's super quick. And one of the things that I think is cool about that is oftentimes in games like this, when you lose, you're like, I can do better next time. And guess what? Next time is right now. You can just play the game back to back, and if you like this style of the game, you're really not going to be bored with that. You'll be able to play it back to back because you can do better and you can destroy them, and good can win once and for all. Ryan?
Yeah, and the setup and teardown is like, like that. It's just dice. So
Yeah.
you're just taking out the dice faces maybe, but you're ready to rock right away.
Yeah.
My favorite part about this game is kind of that mental battle that you're playing. It's like a cat and mouse thing, a little bit like, I don't know, this chess thing, rock, paper, scissors, whatever you want to call it, where you're trying to figure out what the other person's going to do, and then you do the opposite so that way you can kind of counter them. And I really like that kind of that mental puzzle that you're trying to solve. So, for instance, maybe you think that they're going to do a whole lot of attacking because they've purchased a lot of attack dice recently, so you're going to do a whole bunch of defense. And plus, it's going to allow you to go first, right?
Yeah.
In the next round. Or maybe you think that they're right about to buy a whole bunch of dice. So you want to
dice faces.
Yeah, so you're going to use some of those abilities that say, that give you extra abilities based off of them gaining dice and dice faces. Or whatever the case is, you're always trying to figure out what they're trying to do. And that even gets, like, quadrupled once you start adding in those extra characters, because they have more abilities like that as well, as you're trying to figure out what the other person's going to do. So, and then that being said, even if you do have a plan, sometimes it doesn't always work because you're just relying on what the dice tell you. So if the dice says do a whole bunch of attacking, you still just do a whole bunch of attacking,
Yeah.
So that's kind of the puzzle that you can try to solve throughout this game.
This game is really fun, and if you like that 2-player like attacky style of games, and especially if you like the comic book themes, I think you'd really enjoy Kapow. I haven't played Volume 1, but I think that you would enjoy Volume 2 if you like that attacky 2-player comic book theme stuff. This is really going to be up your alley.
I like how it has almost that kind of dice building, deck building, pool building style of gameplay as you kind of growing your engine. It kind of differentiates it a little bit from other games. Like, it initially gave me a lot of Dice Throne vibes, and I really like Dice Throne, but it also gave me that kind of Dice Forge vibes as well. So it kind of felt like a combination between Dice Forge and Dice Throne. I think that I worry a little bit about the longevity of the customizable dice faces. Even in our plays, I felt like I was starting to get a little bit some loose ones, Yeah. So I worry about that a little bit, but nothing has fallen out yet either. So we'll see how that goes as we go on. But no matter what, I had a great time with this. It's not necessarily my favorite style of game, but nonetheless, I like this custom dice. That's pretty cool.
Everybody, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe so you can see our videos as they come out. Until then, you can find us in all of these places.
You guys, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
You guys, thanks so much for watching. This game was provided to us by a publisher in exchange for a fair and honest review.
And if you want to see more stuff, check out over here to see something we think you might like.
And over here, we think that YouTube has picked out a great video for you you're going to love. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.